up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we're in the brand new 2025 Toyota GR86, courtesy of Younger Toyota in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we're in the brand new 2025 GR86 because there is a new Hakone edition available for the 2025 model year. Not only that, Toyota has modified some of the performance elements for the 2025 GR86 as well. You also get 2 years or 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance, and this may very well be the safest sports car in existence today. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. So as you can imagine, there are a few different trim levels for the 2025 GR86. First one, you got the base trim level starting at $30,000 even, which is a $700 bump from the 2024 model year, in case you were curious. You got the premium, which is the one we are in today, starting at $32,600. And lastly, the Hakone edition going for $35,270. And by the way, that Hakone edition, there will only be 860 of those produced, hence GR86. You guys get what Toyota did there. It's kind of clever. But regardless of trim level that you go with, the power plant is going to be the same. Powering the little beast is a 2.4 liter naturally aspirated, horizontally opposed 4-cylinder boxer engine built by Subaru, of course, putting out 228 horsepower at 7,000 RPM, 184 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 3,700 RPM. That power being sent to the rear wheels through a 6-speed manual, which comes standard, and that is the transmission that we have with us here today, or a 6-speed automatic, which is the transmission I had in last year's review. And that one does come with paddle shifters. That's an $1,100 option in case you wanted that one. But 0 to 60 time, approximately 6.1 seconds for the manual, 6.6 then for the automatic. Top speed, if you're interested, 140 miles per hour with the manual, 134 miles per hour with the automatic, with MPG numbers coming in at 20 in the city, 26 then on the highway for the manual, 21 city, 30 then on the highway for the automatic, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the GR86, did want to mention to you guys the drive mode. There is a little track button right here for us, located directly behind the shifter. But ultimately, drive modes adjust things like the shift points and the throttle response. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2025 Toyota GR86 here up to speed. All right, guess we found our straightaway. We're just gonna merge onto the highway, basically. Go. Love manuals. Love this car, man. Love this car. That is fun, dude. This is the perfect car. This is the car I should have got for my first car, although it didn't exist when I first got my first car. My first car was an Acura RSX. I loved that thing. This is the perfect car, man, for driving enthusiasts, at least, because the 6-speed manual is butter. It's so much fun just shifting through the gears here, and it's super easy to find the grab points. The clutch is a nice clutch feel. I love it. And by the way, there is reworked throttle mapping, by the way, for 2025 here, for the 2025 model year, and that's to help with rev matching actually as well. So thank you, Toyota, for that. That's pretty cool. But overall, plenty of an acceleration, over 200 horsepower paired up with the 6-speed manual. Having said that, the 6-speed automatic that I drove last year, still plenty fine. That's going to be probably an excellent transmission as well. So either way you go, you're pretty set. This is a fun car either way. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So up front, you will find 11.6-inch ventilated front discs, unless you go with the Hakone edition or get the performance package that we have with us here today. That performance package goes for $1,500. That actually bumps up the brake disc to 12.8 inches, and that gives you Brembo brakes as well, by the way. So that's pretty cool. In the back, 11.4-inch solid rear discs either way. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, it comes in at 107 feet. And I can already tell you, when it comes to the braking feel, extremely firm braking feel. And that number, 107 feet in general, that's an insane number. But typically with sports sedans, you get in the 1-teens. So 107 feet, that is definitely a sports car number, and it feels that way with the super firm braking feel in this thing. So I absolutely love that. The other cool thing with the braking is you actually have a manual parking brake as well, as opposed to the electromechanical parking brake. So therefore you can actually do some drifting if you wanted to. So that's cool too. But then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension, Sachs dampers if you go with the Hakone edition or the performance pack. So yet again, we got those as well. Also retuned shock absorbers and electronic power steering for the 2025 model year. So another change to the performance for the 2025 GR86. But overall, as far as steering feel goes, it's brilliant. It is one of the best steering feels that I've played around with quite a while. I've done over 1,000 reviews at this point. So I love this steering feel of the GR86. This is overall, this car is just crushing it on the performance side. As far as ride quality goes, now I will say you do tend to feel a little bit more of the road in the GR86. That's to be expected. Car rides low to the ground, and it's a compact car, so you feel a good bit. I'm just gonna say that. As far as cabin noise goes, again, it's a little bit on the louder side of things, but that's to be expected in a car like this. That's due to the road noise. It's also due to the exhaust. That's a good thing. We'll do exhaust clip a little bit later, but the road noise is a little bit pronounced now that I pull over to the side of the road here to stop for a second. But yeah, so keep that in mind. As far as rear visibility goes though, that is 100% on point. I have absolutely no issues with that. And that's a big deal in a sports car, because cars like the Camaro and the 370Z I know back in the day, or the Z in general, not the best visibility, but this one, perfectly fine. But so that about rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let me go ahead and find a cool spot, and let's check out the exterior now of our brand new 2025 Toyota GR86. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2025 Toyota GR86, finished in Halo. Awesome name for an exterior paint color, but that paint color goes for $475, by the way. It is a premium paint color, but as always, let's go ahead and start with where the GR86 is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter J, indicating that the GR86 is built and assembled in Japan, as it should be. JDM, baby. But let's go ahead and start up front. Projector style LED headlights do come standard. That's the best you can get there. They do come with the automatic feature. They also come with automatic high beams. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. And when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up the high beams for you there. But here's one of the best parts here. For the premium and the Hakone edition, you also get an adaptive front lighting system. So when you're going around a bend at night, those headlights are going to swivel based on the direction of your steering angle, better help illuminating what is around that bend, so you're less likely to hit a deer or Sasquatch or an alien or whatever the case. So that is pretty darn cool as well. Also with those two trim levels, you get the auto leveling feature, so that's nice too. Also in that front grille, you got the GR badging, you gotta love that. And to the bottom corners there, you will find front air curtains helping direct air around the wheel and tire combination for a little better aerodynamics there. But one of the best looking sports cars out there right now, in my opinion. I think this thing looks so dang good, but that pretty much rounds out the front end. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of the 86 here, black window surrounds will come standard. Gloss black power adjustable side mirrors also coming standard. They will actually be heated for all trim levels as well. Gotta love that functional front fender ventilation up here as well. I'm gonna get up a little closer to show that to you guys, so hopefully you can actually see through there, but it is functional, so that is pretty cool there. Taking a look down at the wheel setup, it's gonna differ, of course, amongst the trim levels. For the base trim, you're gonna get 17-inch matte black alloys. For the premium that we have today, they come with 18-inch matte black alloys, and then for the Hakone edition, you're gonna get some matte bronze alloys. And of course, since we have the performance pack, we got those massive bright red Brembo calipers behind the wheels as well, so that always looks good. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, all the way to the top, you will find a body colored shark fin antenna. Just below that, when it comes to the rear spoiler, it is going to be a body colored rear spoiler for the premium and Hakone edition trim levels. LED taillights though do come standard for all trim levels across the board for added illumination at night there. You got to love that. Got some GR86 badging found on the trunk there as well. But let's get to one of my favorite parts in every review here. To the bottom there, I love this look, but dual exhaust outlets with either silver or black tips. They look pretty darn good back there. And there's some pretty massive exhaust outlets as well. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. zooming out since we are around to the back of the 86 here. When it comes to opening that rear trunk, there is going to be a button on the key fob, but there is actually a rubberized button on the trunk itself then as well. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 6.26 cubic feet, so not a ton of space, but I suppose it gets the job done. But if that was not enough space for you, those rear seats of course do fold down. There's things that you pull on both sides in the back that you can actually fold those rear seats down, so that's pretty convenient. You do have some cargo lighting back there, and then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you are going to find some in-floor storage. That was kind of nice to see, but also a tire inflator kit. So I would have preferred the spare tire, but I'm sure that's done for weight savings. But now let's go ahead and make our way up to the rear legroom. Not a ton, 29.9 inches. Is basically like my old Ford Mustang GT. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there. Essentially got the front seats pushed up right amongst the front of those rear seats there. So maybe small kids can fit back there, but yeah, not a ton of space. But let's go ahead and make our way up to the front seats. A little better here. Manually adjustable cloth seating coming standard. Leather suede combination for the premium and Hakone edition trim levels. I love this combination seating. Also for those two trims, those front seats will be heated. Those heated seat buttons are located just to the right of that manual parking brake there, so that's pretty cool. Overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it was brilliant. Toyota and Lexus always crush it with their seat comfort, and the 86 is no exception there. Definitely very comfortable seats in this thing. But let's now go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is going to be leather wrapped for all trim levels across the board, and you got that cool GR logo at the very bottom there as well. Now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. Of course, this is a Subaru key. If you're familiar with Subaru, you'll recognize it pretty quickly. It is all keyless entry though, with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and clutch and press that engine start button located just by the driver's right knee. And so once started up, when it comes to the gauges, it is a 7-inch digital gauge cluster, and it looks pretty darn good up there. And of course, it does adjust. If you put it in that track mode, it essentially makes it look like an old Honda S2000. That's basically the same gauge loadout right there. The RPM's going up, and it looks like the red line's sitting at like 7,500 for this car, so that is pretty cool too. So I like the little bit of customization there, I will say that. But if you don't have it in that track mode, you got the RPMs, you got a digital speedometer front and center there, you got the outside temperature all the way there to your right, and you got your fuel information to your right there as well. Trip A is in the bottom left hand corner, so it gets the job done. That's actually a pretty cool looking gauge cluster if you ask me. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. Dual zone climate control for all trim levels across the board. Aluminum foot pedals for the premium and Hakone edition trim levels. I love those. That was pretty cool as well. The cool thing about the interior quality though is the suede leather combination on the seats was brought onto the doors as well, also just above the gauge cluster. I'm a huge fan of that because just above the gauges here, I have a suede finish. You also have a suede finish on the doors as well. And I mean, overall, it's not the highest quality finishes in here, but it did pretty good, probably just to keep the price down. There is a matte black door handle, and there's some matte black finishes around the heated seat buttons, things like that, but I don't mind it, honestly. So I like the suede finishes. That really makes it for me, honestly. So I don't have any issues there. But let's go ahead and check out the infotainment screen here. I wanted to touch on that 8-inch color touchscreen display for all trim levels. Bluetooth and audio streaming coming with that. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You could check out your maintenance information up there if you wanted to. There's your outside temperature in the upper left-hand corner as well there. Also, of course, your radio information. So when it comes to the sound systems, there are 2 of them. So you're going to get 6 speakers for that base trim level, but then an 8-speaker sound system for the premium and Hakone edition trim levels. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. When there's nothing you believe but the crowd. All right, plenty of clarity there. 8 speakers in a vehicle the size of the 86. That's going to be overkill, honestly. Not a ton of bass. Maybe it was just the song, but it's a pretty darn good sound system either way. And of course, it is more than the 6-speaker sound system, so you got that too. But it's okay. It gets the job done. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the 86 in reverse, you will find a rear view camera that comes standard for all trim levels across the board, of course, letting you know who or what is behind you, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so at the very beginning of the video, I said this may very well be the most safe sports car out there right now. And the reason I say that is because it's very rare that a small sports car like this is an IIHS top safety pick Plus, which is the very highest designation given by IIHS. So just like a Volvo, so that pretty much says it has excellent crash test ratings and it has excellent advanced safety to go along with all of that, with the super bright headlights as well. So when you put all that together, that's how you get that rating, which is the best you can get. So you gotta love that. So front side curtain airbags do come standard. You get a driver's knee airbag up front as well. In the back, you got latch, aka lower anchors and tethers to children for the rear car seats, tire pressure monitoring system, of course, as well. But to go along with all of that, plenty of advanced safety features too. You got a pre-collision braking system, pre-collision throttle management, adaptive cruise control, lane departure alert with sway warning, lead vehicle start alert, and then the premium trim level and up is going to add to that rear parking sensors. That one's rare, and also reverse automatic braking then as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, back to it, excellent safety. You can't beat an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, but I think the thing that really sticks out to me with the 86 is the amazing driving dynamics. Like, everything about this car was wonderful when it comes to driving dynamics. The acceleration was great. Love that there's a 6-speed manual in this thing. That was plenty fine as well. Braking, brilliant, 60 to 0 and 100, what did I say, 106, 107 feet, that's brilliant. And the steering feel and handling is the best. So overall, brilliant driving dynamics. The other thing is, this is a relatively affordable, fun car, so it's got that going for it as well. Great design. I think this thing looks plenty good. I think there's only 2 things I would possibly change, maybe a little bit on the interior quality, just like the door handles, for example, and the matte black plastic behind the shifter. That's another thing. And then the other thing I would add is multicolor ambient lighting. So when I drive this thing, it kind of throws me back to Fast and Furious 1 and my very first car that I had. There's LED bulb lightings under the seats or whatever, and bright blue, and I just think ambient lighting would look pretty darn good in here. And I know the aftermarket can fix that, but I don't know, it'd be cool from the factory. But let me know what you guys think of the 86 in the comments section below. That's about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen if you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we do here for 11 years now on the channel. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.